Cyberpunk 2077 modding has been hitting new heights. We are finally getting to that point where modders are implementing quite a few long requested features into Cyberpunk. So things like New Game Plus, better third-person support, and even making Night City overall a bit more interactive are finally here. But if you are looking for the latest and greatest in RPGs, today's video sponsor New World Eternum is coming on October 15th. They just dropped their epic launch trailer.
They say no one lives forever.
And this looks stunning. We get a look at New World Eternum's spanning open world. There's going to be quests taking us to all kinds of different locales just like this, and some of the bosses you'll encounter look insane, from full-on desert power to environmental horror. But thankfully, you don't have to go into New World Eternum alone. This game is finally coming to consoles and will launch with cross-play support, so PC and console players can go into co-op immediately. But don't fret, New World Eternum is still a single-player RPG if you want it to be, and this game even features a classless build system with tons of options. We're talking about swords, guns, and sorcery. You can use it in PvE or PvP. And it doesn't forget it's a role-playing game, so you'll find a wide range of different customization options for your own character. But since you clicked on this video, you can even jump in with some extras. New World Eternum is coming October 15th, but if you pre-order now using my link, you'll get the Azoth Stalker Wolf mount as well. The mod New Game Plus Native promises a CDPR-like New Game Plus experience. With this one, you'll find a brand new menu option to begin anew, and from here, you can select one of your existing endgame save games and have much of your progress transferred over to this new game. So on one hand, if you just want to jump into a new Cyberpunk 2077 playthrough, but with the same character, this mod is perfect for that. Basically, all of the items you currently have in your character's inventory will be transferred over, along with all of the levels you have reached. Because yeah, all of your perk and attribute points will carry over, and as you're creating this new Game Plus character, you could even respec things somewhat, and once in game, you'll find things like money, cyberware, and even some of your daemons will still be there, so you could pretty much just continue as you were. You're gonna have two main starting options with this mod, either starting a new game right after the time jump scene, where you and Jackie are saving Sandra Dorset, so basically cutting out the life path start aspect, or what'll likely be more handy for most of you watching, you could just skip the prologue altogether and instead kick off the game right in the aftermath. This will be right as you're meeting Johnny Silverhand for the first time, but of course, more importantly, getting access to the entirety of Night City. So as much as this is a really solid New Game Plus mod, it also is a really handy quick start mod for just getting into the main game of Cyberpunk. But of course, some other mods have given you the ability to transfer your items over to a new character. That isn't new with this one. But thankfully, this mod takes things a step further. What makes this New Game Plus experience more CDPR-like is it also will increase the difficulty of the game on this new playthrough. You'll find enemies with new abilities, even right from the beginning of the game. They'll be using things like optical camo, as well as more enemies will have access to Sandevistan. Enemies overall are going to be hitting harder, and just generally you're going to be more reactive and difficult in combat. This is pretty similar to how New Game Plus was implemented in past CDPR games like The Witcher 3. So if you do want a true faithful experience akin to what they would actually add in, yeah, this is pretty close to that. Although thankfully, if some of these extra difficulty options are a little bit too much for you, this mod also includes a config file so you could disable them if you want. The last major update to Cyberpunk 2077 added an FSR 3.0 frame generation. This came with massive FPS gains for nearly everyone on PC. But if you're playing on PC and you like having a bunch of FPS, you probably shouldn't use that. Patch 2.13 added in the outdated FSR 3.0, which has quite a few visual issues as well as just isn't the most up-to-date version of this software. And using this, you'll be able to tell in real time. The overall visual quality just isn't great. And particularly around some of the foliage in the world, you get some really rough artifacting. So conversely, if you just download the FSR 3 frame generation mod, this will implement the updated FSR 3.1, which is just better. This driving comparison paints a pretty clear picture. In the CDPR implementation, the foliage is pretty much twinkling, while at the modded version, things just look far better. And since this mod uses FSR 3.1 instead of FSR 3.0, using the modded implementation will also literally give you more FPS. I was getting about 5 extra FPS with this mod, which, yeah, that makes sense because it's a more updated version of the exact same upscaler. So yeah, and kind of an odd twist of fate, you shouldn't use CDPR's implementation, instead should rely on the modded implementation of FSR 3.1. But one of the other long requested features for Cyberpunk 2077 is third-person support. We of course have had a mod implementing this for a while now, but it has some issues. But thankfully, just this past week, some other modders are making the experience of playing in third person far better. Every animation redone third person will update nearly all of these third person movement animations. The walking and running was always just kind of okay, but with this mod, you'll definitely notice some improvements with those modded animations. But when it comes to crouch walking, this is a massive upgrade now. Previously, Valerie's torso would contort in inhuman ways, and that is just completely gone. The same is true for when running through crowds, which used to be a struggle to look at. Now you'll basically just be spearing yourself into everyone, but at least you're not bugging out in the process. Things are still definitely not perfect, even with this mod, but it's way better than what we had before. And this mod also brings optional files to use things like pistols or even other melee weapons while in third person, with some animations to make those a bit more functional as well. But do you like the old Cyberpunk? This game had a pretty unique history, where it has undergone several major overhauls at this point, and as a result of this, many players out there actually prefer certain aspects of some of the older versions of the game. So if you're tired of the patch 2.0 scaling attribute checks, because yeah, now the attribute checks in Cyberpunk will actually scale with your level, gradually getting harder as the game goes on. If you don't like that, you can just grab the newly released pre-2.0 skill checks mod. This will revert nearly every skill check in the game to its launch day value, and it'll stay that way. That means no more scaling. The numbers will always stay the same, but also, since these values were in the game for about 3 years before patch 2.0, many older guides for Cyberpunk will also still be using these values. And this really isn't a flat nerf or buff, it's just different. Some skill checks will be a bit harder, some others will be a bit easier, but things will always remain the same and not be dependent on your level anymore. But if you're trying to make the NPCs of Night City feel a bit more alive, you also need the mod Responsive NPCs. This will make your current character's state trigger certain reactions from other NPCs. So let's say you're running around naked, other NPCs will make more comments around this, or even actively start avoiding you and walking in the opposite direction as you try to cut them off. Pretty much how people would react in real life to seeing a borged out human running around nude. Walking around with heavy weapons will have other armed NPCs on edge, and doing so in populated areas will have the NCPD watching you more closely. There are even further reactions beyond this, but if you're looking to take an even further step to overhaul Night City, random netrunners will make some of the enemies you encounter have quick hacking abilities. There's some other mods that do similar things to this, but with this one, things are completely randomized. So who has a quick hacking ability will be reset every time you load a save game. So whether it's Arasaka or the Tiger Claws, you may be getting quick hacked in combat, but it's unpredictable at this one. It could be one netrunner or several, and it makes every combat encounter a lot more interesting. But another really cool mod is hidden gems as random encounters, which will add a lot to the exploration in Night City. Cyberpunk 2077 has a lot of these little random environmental finds. Bodies arranged in a certain way, or sometimes even rare items or events that you can uncover. Typically, these will have no map markers associated with them, you just have to randomly stumble upon them. But since they are fairly obscure, this mod will make it so when you're near one of these hidden gems, there is a 25% chance that a map marker will be shown on screen indicating that hidden gem's nearby. And I really like this. Realistically, you'll miss many of these on a normal playthrough, but this mod will make it so you find far more, and with the relatively low chance to even be alerted to it, discovering these will still be gradual and happen over the course of an entire playthrough. Or if you just want to get rid of some eddies, you could grab the gambling system roulette. This will implement a roulette table to some of the bars in Night City. You can walk up to the table and buy chips and even place some bets, just like during that Phantom Liberty quest. But of course, this time around, the stakes are real, so you can fully bet and win or lose as much of your own money as you want to. But we've also been seeing quite a few really cool new vehicle mods come to Cyberpunk 2077. You can now get the absolutely gorgeous Jaguar XJ13. All of the vehicle mods I'll highlight here have full-on vehicle car dealer support, so you can simply buy them via the computer in your apartment. And even though this Jag is 100 years old by the time of Cyberpunk, it still feels like a perfect rich corpo car for driving around Night City. Another car that fits in perfectly here, but for the opposite reason, is the Skyline R34 with the high-cade body kit. You can cruise around in the standard version of this one, and yeah, it sounds amazing with those blow-off noises, but if you really want to get immersed into Night City, you will need this livery variant that just feels at home here with the underglow and all. But we also recently got the BMW ReddArnage, which comes with some custom features for a vehicle mod. It of course adds in this custom motorcycle into Night City, and the dashboard on this one is fully animated with differences for both day and night, but the bike itself is also using custom vehicle physics, so this ride should feel a bit different compared to some of the other bikes available in-game, and perhaps best of all, it also has this new dye designer. You'll launch this and select your Cyberpunk installation, and from there, you could fully edit the visuals of this motorcycle, and once happy with your configuration, it will apply to the bike in-game without having to reinstall the mod. A really cool addition, although of course, the ultimate goal with having this ability in-game, it's still nice to have this degree of customization for a vehicle mod. But if you don't only want new vehicles, but also some more vehicle immersion, a really epic vehicle add-on mod is Parking Spots Enhanced. This will give you a dedicated parking spot next to your various apartments in Night City. The way this will work is after using your apartment, which means either sleeping, showering, or drinking coffee, the nearby parking spot will be populated with your last used vehicle. The main H10 apartment is a bit unique in that it'll feature a parking spot for both a bike and a car, as well as the garage is a bit of a walk away from the main entrance, but many of your other apartments will have the parking spot right next to the front door, which is really cool. It'll give you quick access to your vehicle, and for those of you that don't use fast travel, I would consider this a must download because it is a very fluid motion to just walk out of your apartment and have your car sitting there ready to access. And if you are one of those players who doesn't like using fast travel but is also getting a bit tired of driving, you could also grab the auto drive mod. With this one, after you get into your car, you can just have it automatically drive to your map pin. This could be a quest objective or even a random map marker. It'll use some of the NPC driving AI, so things won't quite be as efficient as you driving yourself, at least for most of you. And it's definitely not perfect with bumping into things from time to time, but it is still pretty good and a really nice way to immerse yourself in the world, as this tech literally exists in the Cyberpunk universe already. And if you are looking for more reasons to cruise around Night City, you could also pick up taxi work in Night City. This is a really fun mod that will allow you to do radiant taxi jobs where you pick up clients and drop them off for a fee. But of course, this is Night City, so there are further modifiers like the clients being in a rush and paying you more to get them in a certain amount of time, or even being chased down by some enemies of that client while they're on the way to their destination, or even both. You could have limited time things where you are being chased by baddies. To start this one, you'll need to find one of the newly added cabs, which will just be driving around Night City. Although, after completing a certain number of jobs, you can buy one of these cabs for yourself, and then once inside a cab, simply honk your horn and a new quest will pop up leading you to that client. And then from there, you'll have to get that client to their destination and some modifiers may appear. Some of these will be really far and pay decently well in the thousands of eddies. But honestly, it's not just about getting there. Some of these clients expect a luxury ride as well and can be spooked. So even some minor inconveniences could have your clients requesting a full refund. And if you want to have a lot of fun with this, you could even disable the cab requirement and just use any car, basically being an Uber. And really the core of this one is this mod is just fun. It's very configurable, so you can increase the payouts to make things a bit more lucrative, but cruising around Night City with purpose is honestly pretty enjoyable, and this certainly serves to up the sandbox experience of Night City. And if you do want your cabbie work to be a bit easier, you can also grab the React to Horn mod. This will make other NPCs react to you honking, the Z key on PC. On sidewalks, honking will force the NPCs to jump out of the way, making avoiding them far easier. And in the streets, honking will yield many other cars around you to honking back in response, which is peak immersion in Night City. But if you're looking for even more great mods to download right now for Cyberpunk 2077, check out this video.